Over the past 4 years on this channel, I've remade almost 100 songs from Zedd to The Weeknd to Purple Disco Machine. I did make them all for entertainment, but I also selfishly made them so I could get better at making music and learn what really goes into making some of the biggest hits in the world. And I think there's really two big things I've learned from doing this that can be applied to any genre of music. Also, if you're interested, I've bundled the drum samples, mix stems, and project files from every remake I've ever done together. You can check that out down below. It should help you guys further dissect what's gone into making these hits. So the first big thing I've learned is that songwriting is more important than production or mixing or anything else. You can take any one of these songs and just strip it down to a simple piano sound. Let's take SOS by Avicii. Even just using the most basic sound, the melody can get stuck in your head and the rhythm of those chords gets you moving. Then the production is just used to emphasize the songwriting and make it sound cool. The trick here is to use songwriting to make production decisions. When you listen to this melody, you're thinking, okay, that sounds pretty bouncy with the rhythm and melody of those notes. So why not make a bouncy drum beat to match that energy? And because the melody has short notes and a fast pace, why not use a plucky sound to emphasize the transience of those notes? So all I'm getting at here is you can emphasize the production of a track by thinking about the songwriting. Think about the overall vibe and rhythm and mood of the songwriting first and use that to make production decisions. Let's do one more example. Everyone will recognize that melody right away as Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. You have this super uplifting and catchy melody, so why not use a big lead sound with a lot of reverb and turn it way up in the mix to drive that point home? That track has almost 3 billion plays, which is insane. And I can tell you it's not from the production, it's from that catchy melody and the songwriting behind it. So I think as a music producer, something to think about should be maybe you spend just as much time learning about songwriting as you do learning about producing. It's definitely something that I need to work on too. Now on to the second big thing I've learned from remaking these tracks. Sometimes I was actually shocked by how simple these big tracks were. Like Be Someone by Camel Fat has over 40 million streams, and look at how many layers there are. Just a lead synth sound, a bass, some extra sounds to add depth, and of course the drums. This Tiesto and Mesto track is another example. The drop is basically just a flute, a bass, and drums, and that track has over 13 million streams. Even when a song sounds more complex, it's really not. You just have to think about it in a different way. Let's take Funny by Zedd as an example.
Yeah, it's
If you break it down into the main parts, then the vocals would obviously be one element. Then all of these layers make up the chords. So that would be the second element. Then you have the bass, which is really just playing the root note of the chords. And then you have the last element, which is the drums. So if you break it down that way, every single layer you see here is made to support one of those four things. So when you're making a song, you should just list out what the main elements are, and when you add things to it, Just make sure it's supporting one of those main elements. And obviously Zed is a pro at this. He'll have other layers come in, like that extra layer that comes in to support the chords. But he'll only have that layer come in occasionally to provide some contrast and not let any of the one main elements get boring. That's a pro level move right there. The best part about keeping things simple is it gives you a lot of room to make the mix sound huge. Let's look at one last example, Giant by Calvin Harris. See if you can decipher what the main layers here are. Of course, you've got the horns and the bass, the drums, and some background atmosphere to fill out the track. Every layer in here is supporting one of those things. So there you have it. After 4 years of doing these remakes, those are the most important things I've learned. So hopefully that'll save you guys some time and you can apply these ideas to your own tracks. And like I said, I've bundled every remake I've ever done on my website. I split it up by drum samples, mix stems, and the project file. The reason I included the mix stems is because I realize a lot of you don't use Logic or have the same plugins as me. So the mix stems allow you to still drag everything into your project and dissect what's going on. And you can use any of the sounds in your own music, just not the melodies for obvious copyright reasons. But I hope you guys have fun messing around with those sounds. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.